Now at 11, one sign of progress amid the Providence healthcare strike, but multiple more setbacks.
This is about more than money. It's about respect.
Plus, protests against the Trump administration growing in the Pacific Northwest. A Seattle hospital responds to the government's actions targeting transgender people.
That's putting kids' lives in danger. That's hurting them actively.
And later, it's the end of an era for local business. Why Bob's Red Mill is preparing to shut down their Milwaukee store. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Art Edwards. Our top story continues to be the ongoing healthcare worker strike at multiple Providence hospitals. Today, polls closed on the two remaining votes. St. Vincent hospitalists approved their agreement, while nurses at Providence Medford rejected it. That means, for the time being, the strike will go on. In a statement today, Providence Medford said that they will explore next steps with federal mediators and the union. Our Celine Stevens spoke with the union today before this latest announcement came down.
Providence can do better, and if they want this strike to end, they must do better.
The largest healthcare worker strike in state history hit the 1-month mark Saturday, and it appears there's no end in sight.
This is about more than money. It's about respect. Nurses here at Providence hospitals have carried this community through a pandemic. We've worked short-staffed. Instead of acknowledging our worth, Providence treats us like an expense they'd rather not pay.
Saturday, Providence said in a statement that the Oregon Nurses Association have guaranteed a longer strike for its members. But nurses expressed frustration about the deal Providence proposed related to not receiving retroactive pay for the time they didn't have a contract.
Providence owes nurses back pay. They have the resources to pay what is owed, yet they refuse. Instead, they've dangled the idea of a ratification bonus, a bonus in lieu of retroactive pay.
Providence said in a statement nurses were offered an average 20% increase over 3 years, and the ratification bonuses were up to $10,000. But nurses say
the vast majority of nurses will never qualify for a bonus that high under Providence's latest contract. Those bonuses don't get close to what many nurses have lost in pay increases while working without a contract.
They also say the health insurance is unaffordable and inadequate.
Nurses have been left with fewer options for care, higher costs, and constant roadblocks to accessing the services they need.
But Providence states their medical benefits package is the same that Providence senior executives receive. Also, nurses say that Providence is still not addressing safe staffing in the way they want.
Understaffed hospitals have become the norm at Providence, but this is not the status quo that Oregonians should accept.
Nurses say this is not just about them, but their patients and improving their quality of care.
What we're trying to do is establish the care we can provide for our communities into the future.
We miss taking care of our communities. We want to be back in there too. We love our jobs. We love getting to work with each other as well, and our patients feel all of that.
Turning to the weather right now, another chilly day in Portland with some scattered rain and snow showers. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joins us tonight. Joe, what can we expect on Sunday?
Well, tomorrow for Super Bowl Sunday is going to be mainly dry. We'll be looking at some very cold temperatures, but start to see some of the cloud cover increase a little bit, so that kind of might help us out as we head into tomorrow morning. Right now from downtown Portland, we're looking at a temperature of 37 degrees. We got that light wind coming in from the east-southeast about 5 miles an hour right now, but we'll have a little bit of a disturbance push off the east, and that's what we have been seeing earlier today with some light showers here and there. We've seen just over 1/10 of an inch of rain since midnight outside our studios here in the Goose Hollow area of southwest Portland. But it's ridge of high pressure is going to be developing over the next couple of days. So basically from tomorrow all the way into a good portion of next week, we are going to be dry. Basically, the setup is going to be morning fog with cold temperatures, but a lot of afternoon sunshine, and that's what we'll be looking at tomorrow. So here we are a little bit after 9:30, still picking up a good amount of cloud cover throughout the I-5 corridor, even along the Oregon coast, with some patchy areas of fog. But heading in the afternoon, blue skies with daytime highs right around the low to mid 40s. But next 6 hours, we're going to be looking at temperatures just above freezing in this model. But according to, there could be a few other locations that, wake up to temperatures right around that low 30 mark. But again, what I'm focusing on, though, Art, is the later part of next week with another chance to see some winter weather. I'll talk more what kind of winter weather that will be in my detailed forecast.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Hundreds of people rallied outside of Seattle Children's Hospital today protesting its decision to suspend gender-affirming surgeries for transgender youth. The hospital's decision came after President Trump issued an executive order banning that type of care for minors, which launched a legal battle by a coalition of states, including Washington and Oregon. Bridget Chavez has the latest on the backlash.
A powerful message from hundreds of demonstrators who say Seattle Children's Hospital is putting trans youth at risk.
This is what democracy looks like.
Alex works at Seattle Children's and is one of the organizers of this protest.
Some of our employees found out about them canceling the gender surgeries, gender-affirming surgeries, and was just flabbergasted.
The cancellations come after President Trump signed an executive order that bans gender-affirming medical treatment for anyone under 19. The Trump administration says these treatments include puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and certain surgical procedures.
That's putting kids' lives in danger. That's hurting them actively.
The goal here is to get the hospital to resume care.
We demand that they immediately restart providing gender-affirming care by surgery or by whatever else a provider deems is necessary and good for their patient.
This is the third protest that's happened here outside of Children's since Thursday, and people say they'll be out here again tomorrow and the following days until the hospital resumes those surgeries. Protesters also demand the hospital put out a public statement supporting gender-affirming care and reach out directly to families who've been impacted by this.
They have a responsibility to care for these children. They have a responsibility to deliver evidence-based care, and that's why we're out here.
King 5 reached out to Seattle Children's for comment, and they provided this statement saying, quote, Seattle Children's is supporting the Washington State Attorney General's temporary restraining order in response to President Trump's January 28th executive order directing federal agencies to revoke funding for institutions providing gender-affirming care to minors.
Healthcare, not hate.
In Seattle,
Healthcare, not hate.
Bridget Chavez, King 5 News.
We have an update now on a homicide investigation in Wilsonville. Clackamas County Sheriff's deputies have arrested a Salem man in connection to the death of 41-year-old Catherine Cross. Cross's body was found inside an RV on New Year's Eve. The sheriff's office said that deputies were able to identify 51-year-old Jason Perillo as the suspect through surveillance video. They said the two were acquaintances. Perillo is being held without bail on second-degree murder charges, among other charges. In southeast Portland, a driver is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. They were thrown from their vehicle, their car, this morning. First responders went to Southeast Herald Street, just off 122nd, around 1:30 this morning. Portland police say that it took life-saving efforts to stabilize the driver and get him to the hospital. No one else was hurt. That driver was cited for DUI, reckless driving, and driving with a suspended license. And in Hillsborough, 3 people were displaced from their home after a fire just before noon today. This is on Northeast Turner Drive off Grant Street. Crews found fire in the attic and the crawl space of the home. They got the fire under control in about 20 minutes. By that time, everyone was out of the house and no one was reported injured. Fire investigators are still looking into what caused that fire. A Milwaukee-based company making a tough decision now. Bob's Red Mill plans to shut down the whole grain store and restaurant on Southeast International Way. The company said despite best efforts, the store had been operating at a loss for years.
We opted to make the difficult decision to close the store so that we can focus on what we do best, which is making wholesome foods and bringing people together in our community.
They said the move lets them continue to make those high-quality products. The cafe's last day is tomorrow. The whole grain store will shut down on February 17th. Bob's Red Mill says that they have offered other positions to all store workers, as well as career counseling for those who'd like to look for work elsewhere.